is Antifa arriving at Sturgis. Obviously, Sturgis is, where all the Harley, Davidson, all the bikers go every year, and it was the 80th annual motorcycle rally in Sturgis this year. So they weren't going to let coronavirus, the old hoax, corona hoax, put them off and stop them enjoying their 80th annual motorcycle rally. But in some strange reality, these idiots from Antifa decided to turn up and try and protest. And there's just a whole mix of things here, but I'll play the video to start with. And we've just got like a handful of these idiots turning up, thousands of bikers. You're talking about redneck, fucking red-blooded, hard-edged bikers.
Let's watch this protester in the purple hair. Oh, they're taking him down. There they go. They got him down. Look at them all.
See, this one they've just taken down. That's an Antifa guy here. You can tell by his purple hair. I say guy, I don't want to assume his identity because he could be trans, he could be identify as a woman or a unicorn, or we know the game, don't we? We know the way their minds work. Anyway, so there's like, God knows, about 10 cops on this big one here. And he's quite a big fella as well. And they take it, I assumed his identity again. I'm using pronouns. So,
so
they take it.
There they go, they got him down. Look at them all.
They take it down.
10 cops on them. They got their tasers out.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they take it down and they handcuff him. They're obviously arresting him. I mean, this just thousands of bikers, red-blooded bikers here, yeah, real Republicans, Trump-loving, Trump-loving bikers, and middle-of-the-road sort of libertarians and conservatives and whatnot. But a lot of Trump support there, I imagine. And then these clowns turn up with their purple hair. But look at the size of this one. He doesn't look like a vegan, does he? I mean, he really doesn't. He's eating red meat. He's got to be, eh? I mean, sorry, I say he again. Don't want to, call me ma'am. I'm a ma'am. We just don't know what we're looking at, do we, when we look at these purple haired types. Anyway, so this thing, don't want to assume its identity. All right, this thing, look at the size of him. He's towering over these cops. Makes me, watching this little clip made me think of the fight scene in Troy, where they pull out the big one. So you got all the little skinny soy boys, sort of, salad-eating Antifa, skinny, sort of, tiny little sort of skinny purple-haired Antifa freaks. And they've got their big one, and they send the big one in first. And it reminds me of this scene from Troy, this scene from Troy where they get the big one out. So they send the big one in, and there he is there. They send their biggest one in. And then we know what happens next. Achilles comes out and does his magic.
A few moments later.
Is there no one else?
What a great movie, eh? I love this film, Anyway, but yeah, so they just send this big one in, this big fruity one with purple hair. Male, female, trans, I don't know. Could be anything. Call me ma'am. Could be anything. But they send the big one in to do the fighting for them. Obviously, it takes 10 cops to take it down. But what you want to see here as well is just the hypocrisy of the left versus the right. And, you know, there are thousands of bikers here. Look at them. A handful of Antifa. Can you imagine if the roles were reversed? Yeah? If it was a handful of Republicans and Trump supporters, they'd be torn apart by BLM and Antifa, wouldn't they? They'd be smashed, they'd probably be killed, lynched, you know, beaten to death. Yeah? Also, another hypocrisy and irony, look how the little group of Antifa here are being protected from the bikers. Who knows what would happen if the police weren't there? But the bikers, obviously Republicans, they follow the law. Yeah, whereas Antifa would be and BLM would be attacking the police, wouldn't they? They'd be throwing things at the police. They'd be, you know, it'd be just a violent, well, it'd be a completely different situation, wouldn't it? But Antifa are being protected by the law-abiding bikers, Republicans, whatever you want to call them, yeah? And there's no violence, there's no throwing of bottles, there's no throwing things at the police, there's no attacking anyone. Everyone's just, you know, enjoying the spectacle of these little skinny idiots turning up and being protected by the police. Oh, the irony. Protected by the police. The police. The people that they want to defund. You know, it just makes me... It's just insane, isn't it, really? Look, the police are protecting Antifa. It just shows you how ludicrous and ridiculous their argument is, if you want to call that. Defund the police. I mean, it's all nonsense, isn't it? These people are absolute idiots. Antifa, BLM, it's all bullshit. You know, the whole BLM, George Floyd, criminal who died of a heart attack because he was off his head on meth and fentanyl. You know, he had a heart attack, he's freaking out. We've seen the body cam footage now. So look, being escorted out by the police that they want to defund. And all the bikers, look, they're all law-abiding, they're not doing anything, they're not throwing anything, they're just taking out the trash, letting the police take out the trash. But I mean, the absolute stupidity of turning up to Sturgis, the most red-blooded alpha place you can go. These little beta cucks turn up wearing their black robes. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, so I couldn't let this one go without making a little video on it. So I hope it's been informative. Like, subscribe, share, tell a friend, tell a family, and I'll speak to you guys in the next video.
Let me put the nail in this coffin real tight. God hates a coward. God hates a coward. 21:8 says, but the cowardly and the unbelievers, murderers, the sexually immoral, sorcerers, idolaters, and all liars shall have their part in the lake of fire, which is the second death. God wrote that, I didn't. Who leads the list of that ragtag mob? The cowardly.